I was reading Genesis chapter 11, and in the chapter 11 it was talking about why the world's people speak different languages, and it is sourcing from the Tower of Babel. In the Genesis chapter 11, the story goes as God observed a united human race speaking a single language, and then they built a city. They agreed to build a city and then tower, and this tower eventually was called the Tower of Babel. And this tower, it was reaching to the top of the sky. It's said to be the tower was intended to reach to top in the heavens. And so, and this tower, I researched, this tower was actually made by Nimrod, the Babylon's first leader, the first king. And I also searched that the Nimrod was actually also considered to be the same as the Marduk, the patron god of the Babel, because in the Babylon, they were, the reason why God destroyed Babylon is that they were worshipping multiple gods. Like they were famous with their idolatry and with their all kind of like magic and all kind of sins. Like it was called as the like city of sin. Like they were doing all this like wickery stuff, like all this magic and all this kind of sneaky stuff to compete with the God, because they wanted to be God. They wanted to be more powerful than God, and so God destroyed the city Babylon. And yeah, Nimrod was the, I mean, they consider him, like they think that some scholars, they think that he's the same as Marduk. And Marduk, based on what I read, is also means Mars. So that's why Nimrod is also famous with his rebel, with his being so rebellious and also being the hunter. So I guess maybe it's also like the Nimrod, the name of Nimrod is also means rebel. So it's kind of suits with the Mars, because Mars is all about warriors and hunters and all kind of like rebellions. And Nimrod, the last time when I talk about Nimrod, I said that he was Noah's grandson, but actually, in fact, he is Noah's great grandson. So he is the Noah's son's son. And so Nimrod actually built the city Babylon, and he was the first person, he was the king, the first king of the Babylon, and he was the person who built the Tower of Babel, because he wanted to be more powerful than God, he and his people. So they wanted to reach to heavens. The tower, they wanted that tower to reach the heavens. And Babylon is in the uh, world map is around the Iraq. It's also a small part of the Euphrates River. And so the reason why we humans speak different languages right now is actually um, the origin of this, why we speak different languages all around the world, all corner of the world, is because based on what Bible says, based on the Genesis chapter 11 says, is that in the beginning of the humanity, like especially after the flood, the Noah's flood, uh, the humans wanted to come together to be more powerful and to be more, they kind of wanted to combine their brains to build a tower so that they could be if in case they face the same kind of flood, at least in the tower they will be safe. And but God didn't want this, like didn't want people to be so like sinister, so sneaky, and so uh, prideful, and so powerful, because they wanted to reach the heavens. So they just wanted to be more powerful than God. They just didn't want to go through God's tests, because otherwise they would do all kind of sins and they would still be okay with their sins, and they wouldn't have any consequences. And so that's why God observed the Babylon, the city Babylon, and the tower, the Tower of Babel, and then the God confounds their speech so that they can no longer understand each other, and then scatter them all around the world. So this is the origin of why we speak different languages all around the world. Yeah, like according to Genesis, the Tower of Babel is because people were building it to get too powerful. That's why God made them speak different languages, so that they could be more it would be more difficult for them to collaborate, because they wanted to be like God. They want them to be equal to God. Yeah, because Babylon was famous with all kind of evil things, like all the polytheism, all the paganism, and all kind of wickedness, which was like they were disobedient to the God, to the commands of the God. But I didn't know that Nimrod was the king who built the Babylon and the Tower of Babel. And I also didn't know that Nimrod was the same thing as Marduk, which people call it the god of Babel. And Marduk also related to Mars. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the origin of the languages, why we speak different languages, and why God destroyed the Tower of Babel and Babylon, the city of Babylon.